Thank you, Chairman, distinguished speakers and delegates. I'm happy to be here in this conference and session. I think the biggest challenge the industry faces today is the skills required to be innovative and be competitive. I think that is the issue what industry faces today. So for industry to be innovative and get the required right talent, it's very important that they have to work with the educational institutions. That is a must. I think when you look at nations which have been highly competitive, there is a close interface between the university system and the industry. Across the world you can see, and particular good example is the Silicon Valley, where a lot of technologies are born out of these partnerships. I think we always complain, I think the complaint is on both sides, where industry feels that institutions are not doing enough work and institutions feel that industry is not doing enough work. We always have that issue. I think looking at this, I think 4 or 5 years back, a few of us within CII thought that we initiate this kind of exercise. I think 4 of our companies, I think our company, Forbes Marshall, High Tech Gears, and one more company, we thought let us get together, we'll pool some money and start this initiative. That's how this thing came out. And what we have seen in the couple of years is definitely there is improvement, but it's an incremental improvement. We cannot do drastic improvements. But one thing I observed when we talked to a lot of colleges, they feel the amount of paperwork is huge and they have to spend a lot of time collating a lot of data, and a lot of them shy out also. And people who initially put that effort and they're successful, they have been repeatedly participating in these programs. So that is one area we have to look into. And other thing is that pull factor. What is more important is what we have analyzed. I sit on the governing board of 4 universities in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. And continuously one area we find is the faculty, the amount of time they spent on administrative activities very high. So they're not able to focus much on the academic and research activity. So what industry requires is some kind of expertise available within the institutions. So here we did a small experiment, our industry being in the technology sector for the last 55 years. We had a big challenge being in the instrumentation, where skill was a big challenge for us to be innovative. Because in the last 55 years, whatever we developed are all in-house technologies. And today we develop capabilities of doing R&D for large multinational companies using our IP. So what we did is, we proactively went and worked with the university system. We adopted one university as an example, and we went and presented our strategy, our technology roadmap to them, the department, particularly the instrument department, and so we said, we want to work with you and what is required from your side. So they came out and they spelled out why we went to that specific university, why not other universities, is because we found the professors there more committed to what we were talking. We talked to 4 or 5 universities, but one specific university, we felt they were very committed. And when we have given them our vision, and we said this is our plan, this is what we have to do, and they came, interacted with our team, and a relationship formed between both the teams. So they bought into our strategy, and we were convinced that they will be able to deliver. So that is the first part of developing relationships. A lot of times what happens is there is a lot of mistrust between the industry managers and the faculty. Because of this mistrust, they don't put interest into that. But if you are able to present to the university that this is what our industry wants on a long-term basis, what we told them is 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, this is our core competence. This is what we are working on, and whatever deficiencies you have, we will work with you and help out. That model has worked out for us actually. That was the first program we initiated with CII in 2006, where we signed an MOU with one of the local universities for PhD programs, where the problem was given by us and the total funding was done by us. And later the success of this model was presented to Ministry of Science and Technology, and now the PM fellowship is outcome of that. And we have been successfully running that. Now we run two streams actually. One is they have MSc instrumentation and PhD instrumentation. MSc instrumentation students, we give them our regular problems, which are product improvements, minor innovations, where they take it up as their MSc project, which is done in our R&D, and they do the improvements, and that has been successful. But we want certain technologies which are where a lot of work has to be done in that technologies, and long term, which we want to develop the knowledge base, that becomes a part of the PhD program. Or we have some specific problems where a lot of research has to be done on that, that becomes a, so today we have 4 PhDs working in this kind of initiative. So there we found that the synergy has worked out, and we are able to successfully move forward on that. So what we found is in this whole exercise, this exercise is not that we are not doing in the last 20-25 years. We have been doing that, but we could find this success in the last 10 years. So that is the patience the industry also requires. What is more important is a lot of times the industry doesn't have that patience. They say that immediately we want the results because their thought process is more commercial. But in the last 5-6 years, we have seen that a lot of industry, their attitudes also have changed, and they are also spending a lot of time with the university system and educational system, and they are doing a lot of funding for R&D projects. But only one thing specifically I feel which is very important is the industry-institute interaction should be a strategy of the university system also. That should be one of their goals and objectives. And when that is not there, it becomes very difficult for the university system also to work with the industry. So that should be one part. And what I feel is, as far as the best practices are required, when you look at worldwide in other universities, what we have seen is the success models. When I studied a lot of case studies in various universities, and last month I was in MIT, and I visited the Tata Center in MIT in Boston. This is a very good example why the Tata Center was set up for doing research on technologies for India, where students from various disciplines come up and pick up problems specific to India and work on that problems as a research project. So that model, they identified 8 areas like health, agriculture, energy, different water, and all these areas specifically for India. So that model has been going on. I don't know what is the success rate in that, but at least that is one model which I think industry should take up in India also. You set up these centers in the universities where you give a certain areas on technologies which you work, which are long term, 5-year, 10-year, 15-year, or 20-year down the line, where things can become, these are some of the best practices which we have seen across the developed countries actually, where the industry set up centers and they drive these strategies for a long-term basis. And the other aspect we have seen is there is a lot of excellence available within the university system in pockets, but the pockets are not spreading. And what we feel is the concept of developing center of excellence is very important. Why should I go to a specific university? I will go there if there is a center of excellence. So driving that center of excellence is very important, and projecting it and marketing the center of excellence. And other aspect we have seen is we had a close relationship with a lot of CSIR labs also. I think there should be some synergy between the CSIR labs and the universities also. I think that initiation has to take place. We have been on behalf of CII talking to the government on this aspect, that how the CSIR labs can adopt certain universities and become a center of excellence for the universities to work on certain technology areas. So these are some of the points I wanted to share today. Thank you very much.